Hello, hello, hello. It's me, Mitchell Jones, with Live Life Live. It is April the 20th. It is 2020. And it is 8:30 p.m. in the evening. I am here to give you an update and to just talk about some things that happened in the news today. I'm going to give people an opportunity to come in, share it if you will. Not so much concerned about the likes. I mean, they're appreciated because it does help the algorithm, but that's not my real big thing. But if I'm asking for it, I'm asking for it because the more you like a post, the more you give hearts and likes as it's going on, the more you comment, the more you engage, the more likely it is that they will send this video off and allow other people to see it. I'm going to give a few more people a chance to come in. If you're coming in, hey Pablo, hello, hello, hello. In the Dominican Republic, I'm envious of you right now, that beautiful warm weather that you're having over there. Christopher Ellis, hey. Christine Davenport, hey, Chris. January 2nd, oldest one in the class of 1989. How about that? I do remember my birthday was the 28th, and then 5 days later, here comes Chris Ellis turning a year older than me. I can never catch up to him. Only the same age for 5 days, and there he was turning another year older on the 2nd. It also means, Chris, that you're the first one to 50 in the class of 1989, but that's cool. You get to have the first party. How about that? So let me go ahead and get started. Earlier this afternoon, I came on directly because I came on. I wasn't intended to come on this morning or this afternoon, but I came on because the oil prices, for the first time in the history of this country, dropped below zero, and they went down. I know when I was watching, it was about 2:30, 2:32 when I took the picture. The oil prices had dropped down to $37.38. I'm sharing because I want people to pay attention, and I want people not to just pay attention, but to be able to benefit and to be able to profit from what's going on in the world around us. I know that many of the people who watch this video or the videos that I post are people who are people of faith, and the majority of you, if not all of you, are Christians, and you subscribe to scriptures that talk about the wealth of the wicked being laid up for the just. Good evening and blessings to you, Brother Willie. And I want you to know that I too am in belief of those things, and I believe that those things are to happen. And because those things are happening, I want to talk about those and let's not miss it. Because I believe that we can dance, I believe that we can shout, I believe that we can speak in tongues, we can turn around 7 times, we can give the perfect seed. But if we're not mixing our faith and our belief with action, then we won't get that end result that we are expecting. And so I want to make sure, and some of the things that I say every time may be repetitive, but if I'm saying it repetitive, it's because the Most High is giving it to me in a repetitive way, because those are things that He wants to pronounce, and those are things that He does not want you to forget, and He wants you to remember those things. Listen, I want to just point a couple of things out to you that happened today. The security, just to show you the level of hypocrisy and the level of deception and deceit that is in our government. I shared on last evening that the people who are of the kingdom of the Most High, those of us that are of the kingdom of the Most High, we should not, our kingdom is separate, and our kingdom is not subject to the kingdoms of this world. All of the kingdoms of the kingdoms of this world are going to be consumed by the kingdoms of the Most High, by the kingdom of the Most High. Today, just so you'll see, today the SEC had to pay a former employee $5 million. And they had to pay that $5 million to her because they consider her a whistleblower. She reported someone for something that they were doing wrong. And because she reported it, they considered her a whistleblower and fired her. So an employee here is reporting something that was wrong, that someone was perpetuating against the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and because she reported that, they fired her. And today they had to or she was awarded it, sometime in the recent time, $5 million for that. Where are we when you can't even begin to reveal and to expose that which is wrong and be punished for it, be fired for it, be chastised for being a whistleblower? Listen, some of the other things that are happening because the flights are not going out, the boats are not going back and forth overseas. The drug cartels are having a problem. They're having a problem. Listen, the drug cartels are having a problem getting drugs into the country. And when they're getting them in, they're having a problem getting across the interstate lines because the flow of traffic is not as heavy, and it's much easier to spot them than it was before when the streets were so busy. There are so many things that are going on behind the scenes that you and I are not aware of. And we got, again, I say it all the time, we got to let the Lord do what he's doing. We have to let what it looks like man is doing, let that be. But we got to have the confidence, we've got to have the faith to know that the Most High is doing it, and he's doing it on our behalf, and he's doing it for our good. Something else that you may not know. Some people have been posting videos saying that they had gone to the doctor for one thing, something as simple as a cold, and had a fever, but had not been tested. And when they got their paperwork back, it showed that they were diagnosed with COVID-19. There's some employees in hospitals in New York that said paperwork had been done as to say what a person had died from, and then the next morning when they come in, that paperwork has been changed to say COVID-19. And today somebody shared with me some articles that were written because the insurance companies, listen at this, listen at the level of deceit and the level of greed and the level of the love of money. Again, we desire money because we need the medium of exchange to move. But listen, states are receiving additional money from health insurance companies, or hospitals are receiving additional money for saying that people have COVID-19. In the state of New York, $12,000 additional per case for people that are being said that people have the COVID-19. Don't you know that there's somebody who has an organization that would love to receive an additional $12,000 just for saying that somebody has COVID-19, but they don't have it? The state of Florida is receiving $132,000 per case additional funds for COVID-19 cases. Minnesota, Nebraska, Montana, hold your seat, hold your wigs for this one. Strap it down. $300,000 per case. Now just stop and think for a moment. What is the benefit of truly saying that a person had the pneumonia over COVID-19 if you know that additional funding is coming to your state to the tune of $300,000? Now just look at that for a moment. 10 people, that's $3 million. 100 people, that's $30 million. 1,000 people. You do the math. Add the zero to that. That's what's going on. Everything is not what it seems. Now, I'm not saying that the COVID-19 is not real. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that what you and I are seeing, it's always something additional that we're not seeing. And I want you to begin to have those scales unveiled from your eyes so that you can see what's going on, so that you can see that there's more than meets the eye. There's always opposing. I was told today that Dr. Anthony Fauci was on The Breakfast Club. He was on The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God. And I was told that one of the things that he said, and I tried to find it, and I guess it's too early to see any clips posted, but I'll verify this. But I got it from a pretty reliable source, somebody who listens to the program, but I'll check it. And the thing that was said that he said today, that there's nothing that you can do to your immune system at this time to fight against the COVID-19 virus. What is that for? What is that for a doctor, that the one that everybody is putting confidence in? And I'm not saying anything to try to shout it down, but you got to begin to think critically about the things that are being said, about the things that are not being said, about the people that are being placed in front of us. And if you're caught up taking sides and who you like and who you don't, and who's a Republican, who's a Democrat, and we have a Democratic governor, we have a Republican governor. I'm not saying that there's not some validity to that, but the things that you and I are seeing play out in the media is not concerning one side or the other. There are people who don't care which side it's on. So we got to begin to think logically and critically about that, so that we can see beyond the natural, so that we can see the things that are taking place behind the scenes that are working against us. Yeah, this COVID-19 situation is out there, but China has already launched this digital currency. Facebook has applied for a license for their Libra, supposed to be a stable coin. When Facebook announced that last year that they were going to put out a cryptocurrency this year, back in June 2020, Mark Zuckerberg was immediately called, the following week, was called up to Washington, D.C. to sit before the Senate because in front of a hearing committee, because they want to know, what are you up to? Because there are 2 billion people around the globe who are on Facebook. Because what that means at the moment that Facebook is allowed to release a cryptocurrency, Facebook has the potential to become the largest bank in the world immediately. See, these are things that are going on that you may not know, you may not see, and you may not pay attention to, and that's fine. That's why I'm here talking to you, to give you these events, to break those things down for you, so you can keep doing what you're doing. I love to do this. I can do this all day. I can do this all night. So I'll let you be you, and you let me be me. You tune in and you share, and I'll break it down and make some things easy for you, and you can go and research further from there. Or hear the truth of what I'm saying, hear what resonates and what doesn't resonate. Although that's okay, but if it's some truth to it and it's in your hearing, hey, Coach Leeper, man, we miss football, But if you hear it and it resonates, then there's something to it. I was giving a lady a ride share yesterday for a woman who is blind, and we began to talk about, she began to ask me what my thoughts were on the events that's going on, the things that's happening on television. And as I was sharing with her, she said, wait a minute. And I said, what is it, Miss Evelyn? She said, it just feels like a bolt of lightning hit my whole body when you said that. She said, I got the answer that I needed. I got the confirmation that I needed. I'm not saying that I'm the end all. I'm not saying I'm the be all. But what I am saying is there are things that I will say that may resonate with you. Somebody heard me when I went live today when the oil price fell below minus $37. Do you not understand what that means? That there is no, that you can't, that you can't, they can't sell oil. And if they sell it, minus 37 means that in order for me to come get a barrel of oil, you got to give me $37.58 because it has a negative price. And guess what they said about that today? Somebody on Bloomberg said, we're going to allow, watch this, we are going to allow the markets to decide what the price of oil should be. Now, hold on. If you're going to let the markets decide what the price of oil should be, then why don't you let the markets decide what every stock on the New York Stock Exchange should be? You may not be aware, but it's a proven fact, and you can check the facts on this. They have been putting billions of dollars into the stock market since October at least. And they were even doing it when Obama was the president. When the Dow Jones Industrial Average was 6,000 points, they were printing money and putting digits in there. Just putting digits in there to keep it afloat because the stocks are worthless. Listen, this country has no money. There is no money except you and I create it. That's why they were in a hurry to get us back out the house, because except we go and produce something, there is no movement, there is no money. That's why they had to give us stimulus checks, or give you stimulus checks, because I haven't got one. That's why they had to give stimulus checks to stimulate the economy, to move some currency around. And that's why they already have on the table to give you $2,000 a month for 6 months, whether you're working or not, because they need to stimulate the economy. And think it not strange that those 80 million people got checks. And now all of a sudden in Georgia, they're going to open beauty salons, they're going to open nail salons, they're going to open restaurants, and they're going to open barbershops. Beauty salons, nail salons, barbershops, and restaurants. Beauty salons, nail salons, barbershops, and restaurants. That's what they're going to open this weekend in the great state of Georgia. I think they're probably trying to see if people are going to come out and spend their money. And who usually goes to do those things? Listen, everybody's ready to go to the barbershop. I know I am. Everybody's ready to go. Everybody's ready to go get their hair done, get their nails done. Everybody's ready to sit down, whether it's socially distant or not, and have a meal. But let me tell you people something that's down there in Georgia. You better wait your turn. I know you may think that you have been in the house a long time, but let me tell you, and Georgia has not seen it. That what's going on in Albany, Georgia, and that outbreak at that church, that's probably because somebody was traveling outside and came and brought that back into a specific group of people. But let's just press this theory for a moment. If this is a mixture of the coronavirus with 5G, and it's time to it's now time to turn the 5G on, the city of Atlanta. And if there is a COVID virus, and I believe that there is, then this 5G, if it is, and I'm not saying it is, but I'm just putting this out there. If it is being turned on, on top of what's already going on, then you're going to see a rush of people who begin to get the COVID virus. Listen, if you got to go out there, you got to go out there. But if you don't have to, why we haven't sat still for 90 days yet. We haven't sat still for 90 days yet. Don't be in a hurry. Be led by your spirit when you decide to roll up out there. Be led. Don't go too soon. I stayed in from the 1st to the 14th. Why? Because that was what I felt. That was what I felt I needed to do, and I'm glad that I did it. Because guess what? After the 14th, now check the numbers after the 14th. After that 14-day incubation period, we had gone as high as almost 600 cases a day right here in the state of Virginia. Now that means the people that are those numbers that were being reported this weekend are people who've been affected between the 1st and the 14th. Now, it wasn't no rocket science to me because they said it on the television that the next 2 weeks were going to be the worst 2 weeks all over the country. The president said it, the attorney general said it, and the vice president said it. And they all said it within a 24-hour period. So for me, it wasn't any rocket science there. God, the Lord didn't have to speak. I heard them telling me what they were doing. Take it back to predictive programming. They're usually going to tell you what they're going to do before they do it, because when they do that, then they believe that they don't have bad karma coming on them because you chose not to listen. So just because they open the beach, you may not need to go. Just because the barbershop is open, you may not need to go. And you might need to decide whether it's you or it's your ego, or it's you not really being settled in with the beauty that's on the inside of you that really wants that haircut. You don't have to have it, but you may want it because you need to feel good about yourself. But you need to I feel good. Listen, I am thinning, and most folks didn't know I was thinning because I keep my hair cut so low. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter because it doesn't change who I am. The essence of who I am is the person that you sense and the person that you feel on the other side of this phone that's coming through your phone. That's who I really am. Another thing that happened today, and I'm gonna stop with this one and go where I need to go. The South Korean bank. Watch this, and this is where I want to switch to talk about the crypto market a little bit. The South Korean bank is going to pay. Watch this. $86 million for a U.S.-Iran probe. Now, let me tell you what that means. There was some money that was sent between the U.S. and Iran, and they can't track where that money went or where that money came from. So now the South Korean bank is going to pay $86 million, listen, for a probe to see where the $1 billion went. Now, let me make my switch on you, because many of you, you heard me say things, you've been hearing me say things about cryptocurrency, and I said I wasn't going to come back to it, but I don't want to leave nobody back. I don't want to leave anybody out that wants to come along. I don't want to leave anybody out that wants to hear what is being said, what is being said about that. So let me tell you one of the things that will happen when cryptocurrency is fully activated. Let me say this about that too. this next stimulus package, they are talking about establishing digital accounts for every single person to receive those stimulus payments the next time around. Because watch this, President Trump already said it. He said that the states have 40-year-old systems, antiquated systems that could not handle the weight, the pressure of all these funds at one time. The computers were too outdated. Listen, he knew that. In my opinion, he knew that. He let them fall right on their faces. Because guess what? Now when we come back around to do more stimulus packages, you all are going to let me do it my way. Because I wanted you all to fall on your faces with it. I knew your computers couldn't handle it. That's probably what he was saying. And now they're going to allow these digital accounts to be set up. And I want you to understand what's happening. If they have their way, these stimulus payments that are coming to you, they will not be coming to you from the Federal Reserve. The stimulus check that you received, I don't know what the check said. It may have said United States Treasury Department, but it probably said United States Treasury Department. That money came from the U.S. This other money that they want to give you, the Federal Reserve Bank wants to give you that money. Now, let me say this in case you don't know. The Federal Reserve Bank is not a government agency. It is a private corporation that derailed this country when Congress went home for Christmas one year. They didn't close the session. And 3 people voted and gave the power of making and printing money over to a private corporation that consists of some of the names that you know. I'm not going to name any names. If you want to know, you can dig up the Federal Reserve Bank and see who's behind it. And you'll see some names that you've heard in big business and big banks, have been in big business and big banks for hundreds of years. You'll see that. That's a private corporation. That's like you and I starting a private corporation and then walking up to Washington, D.C. and tell them we're going to print the money for the United States and then you're going to pay us interest. That's essentially what is happening. And what some of you may not know, as much as you hate Trump, one of the things that he wants to do, he wants to get the printing process and the control of the money out of the hands of the Federal Reserve. That would benefit the people. Now, we've got to begin to pray and make sure that those who gain control over the monetary policies and the actual printing of money, that they will do the right thing to benefit the people when they get that control. But that is absolutely something that you would want to see done. So I keep telling y'all, I need y'all to get this. I really don't care who the president is. I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican or independent. I don't care if it's a woman or a man. I don't care if it's a robot. I don't care if it's somebody that's a write-in. It really doesn't matter. They're only puppets. They only do what somebody tells them to do. They are handpicked. They are selected before they get there. So listen, I just want you to think critically, because I don't care what you think after you think critically. But just think for a moment, because some people, oh my God, Hillary warned us that he was going to bankrupt the company. Bankrupt the country. The country's been bankrupt. It's been bankrupt. It's been bankrupt. It's been bankrupt ever since they went off the gold standard. That's why if you look at a dollar bill, I challenge you to take out one right now. I challenge you to take out a dollar bill right now. And look, it doesn't matter if it's a 1, 5, a 20, a 2, or a 10, or 50, or 100. I dare you to take one out and look at it right now. And somewhere at the top of it, it says Federal Reserve Note. Federal Reserve Note. It says it at the top. Federal Reserve Note. You see that? That means that this is a note. A note means somebody promises to pay. A promissory note. When you get a loan on a house, when you get a loan on a car, it is a promissory note. Somebody promises to pay. So all this is acknowledgement of debt. That's all this is. This isn't real money. So we're beginning to see those things shift. We're beginning to see those things shift, and they want to level the playing field because they don't think it's fair around the world. It's not fair. They believe that other countries have an advantage. China has an advantage on probably everybody around the world. China for the first time ever has gotten in and became a creditor with the International Monetary Fund that loans money to countries around the globe. There are over 100, and there are over 100, and I think the count was 150, somewhere between 150 and 180 countries that owe China money. The United States of America is no longer the greatest country on the planet of the earth. We're being deceived. We're in trouble. And that's why I believe this space of time for those who are spiritual, we're being allowed to have that space of time to regroup, and we can shift. We can shift this thing. We can shift it. But you can't shift it if you're not going to stay focused. You can't shift it if you don't pull back. We can't shift it if you don't retreat. We can't shift it if you don't refocus. But if all of us individually do that, hear me when I tell you that we're going to see biblical proportions of response from the Most High, because the people who know their God, who know the Lord, are going to shift. It's happening. It's happening. Listen, they got to get you back to work, because if we don't help and get these people back to work, they're going to learn. They're going to know something. 51% of the U.S. debt is owned by China as of 2016. Think it not strange. They purchase Smithfield Foods. They own Smithfield Foods. Every hog that is grown in the United States of America belongs to the government of China. Every pork producing plant that kills hogs and cuts them up and sells them around the world is owned by China. They bought it years ago. They had so much of our money, and they said it's worthless, that they begin to come on our soil and begin to dump it back on our soil. How do they dump it back on our soil? They come and they spend it on our soil. Go to New York City. Google it. If you don't believe it, Google the first Chinese-owned residential high-rise building in New York City. It looks like a Rubik's Cube that goes straight up. And you can't, if you go to New York City and you look around, and if you go to Midtown and you look around, you will spot that building. It stands out. That is China's way of saying to the United States that we are here. They're not coming. We're here. Listen, people are fighting to be the number one economy in the world, and nobody wants the dollars anymore. The price of the oil went down below zero today. Let me tell you why that happened. Because the Saudis and Russia were at war about what the price of oil was going to be, who's going to sell the most oil. And the one of the men from Saudi got on Bloomberg, and he crossed his legs, and he told them, he said, it only costs us $3 to $4 to get a barrel of oil out of the ground, and everybody else, it costs them between $20 and $25 a barrel. So in other words, really nobody around the world is no competition for Saudi when it comes to the price of oil. So because it's no competition for Saudi, now what we're going to do, we're going to crash the whole oil price. Do you see that? You see that buffoonery? Do you see that trickery? Because he can get it cheaper out of the ground than everybody. Now nobody wants to buy it from him. And yeah, the economy did have, or this COVID situation did have some effect on it, because it's supply and demand. There's no demand for it. As of 3 weeks ago, they were putting oil on train cars because the refineries around the world were full. It's monopoly for them. It's a game for them. And if you and I are not careful, we the little pieces on the game board landing on real estate. And let me just help some of you that think you own something because you're making payments. No, this is a modern day plantation. You making payments, you don't own a thing if you making payments on it. And when you have the title, you still don't own it. Don't pay the taxes on it and see what happens. See, don't they come and find it and take it from you. We've got to begin to shift our thinking and see what it is that has been done to us and done against us. Because if we don't begin to see through that, we can't shift this. Because listen, the kingdom of the Most High is righteousness, peace, and joy. Righteousness, peace, and joy. And that means you and I ought to have all things in common. That means if you need something and I have it, I should be able to give it to you freely. I can receive, freely I should give. See, we can't even do that because this system has us screwed up. It has us all twisted because they've been conditioning us since we were children. When you start sticking the phone in the back of the car and putting those TV shows on that the kids are watching, listen, the programming is beginning then. You're doing it to keep them quiet, and they know you're doing it to keep them quiet, but they're doing it because they want the conditioning to start. When you watch the cartoons and you see the flag, it's conditioning. It's conditioning, and it's going to start. It's going to start then. So let me tell you how this crypto thing is going to work. They have what's called a blockchain technology, and this blockchain technology is supposed to keep everybody transparent and honest, because they'll be able to see the transactions that are done. Now, the banks weren't happy about that, so in the last few weeks, they've gone and said, well, we don't want every transaction visible. But I can promise you this, I bet you there's going to be enough transparency that they can see what each other's doing. Now, let me back you up to the South Korean bank paying $86 million to find out what happened to this $1 billion between the United States and Iran. Now, let me tell you where XRP comes in. Excuse me. Let me tell you where XRP comes in. And just, if you don't understand, just slow, play this 50 times over if you need to and catch it. This is why I'm a fan of XRP. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not giving you financial advice, but I'm telling you what I'm doing based on my research and based on my understanding. XRP will serve as the go-between. Let's say I'm going to I need to send Catherine Bolden $1 million. If I'm going to send Catherine Bolden $1 million and she represents another country, now let me tell you what has to happen in today's system. If I'm going to send her $1 million, I have to have another $1 million in a holding account that are called Nostros and Vostros accounts. Nostros and Vostros accounts. They are these accounts that are just sitting there to guarantee that the $1 million that I'm trying to send over to Catherine Bolden in another country, the $1 million in the middle has to stay there to guarantee that the $1 million that I'm sending over to her gets to her. Because if it doesn't get to her from here to there, and it's intercepted or stolen or hacked somewhere between here and here, then that $1 million is going to come out of my Nostros or Vostros account. Now, you've heard them tell you it will take them 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days. You ever heard that? It's going to take 7 to 10 business days, Mr. Jones, for you to get your funds. Today we'll give you $100. 3 days from now, we're going to give you $1,000. And then within 7 to 10 business days, we'll give you the rest of your money. Now, the reason they're telling us that is because when money is sent by SWIFT or ABA, it literally would take them up to 10 business days, up to 2 weeks, up to 14 calendar days to verify those funds, because they want to make sure they haven't been intercepted. And if they have been intercepted, that gives them time to go and search and see if they can find out where that money has gone. So that's the reason for the delay. But XRP comes in, and mind you, let me give you this information. You can check it, you can Google it, and it'll come up. In these Nostros and Vostros accounts, there's over $20 trillion that's sitting out there. I think the number was something like $27 trillion. So listen, look at all that money that companies and governments have around the world just sitting there to make sure that transfers go back and forth. Transfers go back and forth. Listen, the banks don't just make money from lending money to you. They lend money to each other. They lend money to each other, back and forth, back and forth. I'll lend you $30 million today. Tomorrow you pay me $30 million, $50,000, and then I'm going to lend you $31 million. It's a game. It's a game. And when the bubble gets too big, it bursts. You know how you blow a bubble? It gets too big, it bursts. That's what's happening time and time again. When you hear the market has crashed, the real estate market, the technology market back in the 90s, these bubbles come every 15 to 20 years. And because they speed up things and they keep printing money around the world, it's taking less time for these bubbles to come. And that's where we are right now. We're at another bubble. And it didn't, the COVID-19, this was happening before COVID-19 get here. Now they may try to use this event and not let it go to waste, so they can make you think that the markets are bad because of the COVID-19. Now, I'm not saying that isn't affecting it, but if COVID-19 never showed up, this stuff was already on its way down, which is why they kept printing money every day. And I don't even think they printed any money anymore. It's just a digit. It's just a computer entry. That's all it is. It's a computer entry now. When we see those things printing money, I said they just print enough money to put it out there in circulation. They're not printing all that like that every day no more. They don't have to. They don't have to do that. So the XRP comes in to get in the middle. Watch this. And because XRP says, if you send the money, if I send that money to Catherine Bolden into that country that she is, and if I send that money through XRP on the blockchain is going to verify that the $1 million is there. And she'll be able to see the $1 million coming over. And then over here, in whatever currency she wants that money, they're going to give that money in the equivalent of $1 million to her in the currency of her choosing. And that's going to happen in 3 to 4 seconds. Not 7 to 10 days. 3 to 4 seconds. It's already being done. Thailand is already allowing businesses to use XRP to send payments. MoneyGram, this is stuff you can Google. MoneyGram is already using XRP to send money to Mexico. The people that live here that send money to Mexico, now they have apps. They don't have to go to Walmart and pay the $3 to $4. They don't have to pay $11 to Western Union and MoneyGram this stuff over to their loved ones. Now they can write on their phone. They can write on their phone, send it, and it's there immediately. No more money hanging in the balance to make sure that your money gets there. There's a company called Send Friend. They started in New Jersey. Over I think it was $19 billion. 19 billion? I think that's right. 19 billion or 19 million. 19 million sounds too low. $19 billion a year that's being sent back over to people in the Philippines from people who are living in the state of New Jersey who are working and sending money back to relatives in a third world country. They're using Send Friend to do it. It is already being done. Bank of America has a partnership with the company that owns XRP, and it's been said that they got some kind of patent. Bank of America hired 1,700 employees during the month of March. Thinking that strange that Bank of America was the company that was supposed to be responsible for overseeing this money that went to the businesses that somehow just got eaten up in about a week and a half. And then was it a Shake Shack gave the $10 million loan, the $10 million that they were giving. Now they didn't give the money back because they wanted to give the money back. They gave the money back because somebody found out that they got that kind of money and they leaked it. And now they want to give it back to make you and I think that they're doing a good deed. No, they're only doing the good deed because they got caught. Had they not been caught, they would have taken that $10 million and went on their merry way. So XRP is that way. Bitcoin is the oldest, is the first cryptocurrency. Now get that. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. XRP is a cryptocurrency. Ethereum, Stellar Lumens, VeChain, VeChain, Chainlink, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum Classic. There are so many. There are over 2,000. Don't be concerned with that. Don't be concerned with the 2,000 because when this next rise hits, 90% of them are probably going to go away and never come back again. Let me say this to you. Why am I sharing all this? Because some of you just need to get a little bit of an understanding. And if you get a little bit of an understanding, then you'll begin to see the things that you can't see. And if it's not making sense to you right now, it's going to be posted. Watch it again. Take time away from some of the things that you're watching and begin to do this. I'm coming on Facebook Live free. I'm telling you what I was going to do. Yesterday, I made up in my mind that I was going to have a paid website that was going to be $30 a month to charge you for this information. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do, I'll give you what I give you for free right here. But if we got to go one-on-one with this, then it's going to be a fee for that. Because I labor for this. I read for this. I stay up for this. I lose sleep for this. I take naps and get back up for this. And I'm not saying that's what you want to do. No, that's what I'm called to do. That's what I'm called to do. And I'm doing, and I don't have to do any of this because I've already got my little money sitting on the side, and it ain't a lot. And I'm telling you, it doesn't take a lot. They're giving you stimulus money, the money that they're going to give you. Some of you won't even need that additional money. Don't just sit that money in a bank to draw less than 1% interest every year when there are investments out there where you can receive 30, 60, and 100-fold. And if you don't, some of you will get enough from me to just go and Google it. And some of y'all will have to pay me for a one-on-one session so that I can direct you. And I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not giving you financial advice. But I will tell you, I will tell you what I'm doing. I won't have anything. I don't have anything to hide because I know that I've heard some things. And if I had not heard those things, and you spiritual people know what I'm talking about. And if I had not heard those things, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. I'm talking to you right now because I know what you've done. I know you've given. I know you fasted. I know you've prayed. 20 years ago, you were looking for the breakthrough. You've been looking for the breakthrough since you got here. You've been looking for the breakthrough, the American dream, since you were born. It ain't no American dream. That was part of the lie. But I'm telling you that the scripture says that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just, and he's going to bring it into our hands, not for us to hoard it, but for us to share with each other. And that's why I'm trying to get this information to you so that you can get it in your mind that, you know what, I'm willing to risk $30. I'm willing to risk $20, whatever the number is. But you can do something. You're saving money. The price of gas, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't manipulate that. If it's zero, then we ought to be paying about 20 cents for a gallon of gas in the next 2 weeks. We should. Now, they may not do it, but we should. But I tell you what, it should certainly be at least under $1 if they'll do the right thing with it. Or they'll use the price of gas to keep it up, to get more money out of circulation, to get more money out of our hands. See, that's why they'll raise the prices up. When there's too much money out there, they raise the price so we have to spend more and they can take more money off the table. And then we're not spending enough, then they'll lower the interest rates so we can get more loans, we can get more cars, get more credit cards, and people will go out and spend more because they got an extra $20. They'll go get a $10 bracelet and they'll go have a $10 meal, and then they be broke. But guess what? We kept the economy up and running. It's a game, and we got to get into it. That's why we're not blessed. Now, we're blessed because we're alive, but I'm talking about living blessed in our spirit, living blessed in our mind, and living blessed in our pockets. I don't know about you, but I don't want to keep living beneath where I am. But we are here. I'm telling you, we are here. This is turning. This is shifting. I know it may be scary for some of you. Oh my God, people are dying. People are dying. People have always been dying. Now, I know there may be some more that are dying from this COVID situation, but do what you can to protect yourself. Wear a mask. Hold other people accountable and ask them, hey, wear a mask. I'm wearing a mask to protect you because you're more protected from the mask than I am. So if I can protect you, then will you be my keeper and protect me too? And if you're not going to protect me, then I need you to give me 6 feet and maybe an extra 2 feet, just in case some spray comes out. I don't want it to get over here. It didn't have to come to that. See, we got to begin to think. We've got to begin to think critical and logical. We've got to begin to think spiritual. Because this harvest is here. And don't fear. The end is not yet. This may be the beginning of days. But the end is not yet. Oh my God, listen. Bitcoin was the first. XRP is out there. There's Ethereum. Now Bitcoin, let me tell you about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first. And Bitcoin is not being used for anything. Nobody's using it. And the reason they're not using it is because Bitcoin is 1,000 times slower. 1,000 times slower than XRP. So Bitcoin will be what it is and probably will be what it will be just because it was the first. And it's all speculation, and that's fine. But Bitcoin right now, I think if it's gone back up, it's about $7,000 per coin. XRP today was 19 cents. Stellar Lumens wasn't even 6 cents. So just imagine taking $50 and getting something that will cost you 5 cents. If something costs you 5 cents and for $50, that means you get 20 of them per dollar. So 20 times 50 that's 1,000. So just imagine you get 1,000 coins. I slow it down. So just imagine Stellar Lumens 5 cents. You invest $50. So that would be $50 divided by 5 cents. Somebody do that math. I think I got that right. That's 1,000. Isn't that right? That's 1,000. $50 divided by 5 cents. That's 1,000. You get 1,000 coins. Now, if that's 5 cents, watch this. So when that goes to $1 per Stellar Lumens, your $50, your $50 has become $1,000 because you took $50, 50, and you invested in 1,000 coins. So your 1,000 coins at $1 becomes $1,000. Let's press the math. Your $1,000 at $10 becomes $10,000. Or your $500, your 1,000 coins at $10 becomes $10,000. Your 1,000 coins at $100 a coin becomes $100,000. Yeah. It's that way. And you can press that math out as far as you want to. But I'm inclined to XRP because the signs are there. The woman who's the CEO of Coinbase is being used to oversee the digital economy coming in. That's Trump's choice. The lady that he's got waiting, Judy, I can't think of her last name right now, but Judy somebody, she's being, you'll hear the name. He's trying to appoint her to the Federal Reserve Board because he wants to make sure that the printing of money comes out of their hands so that they can get this digital economy on. Now, I'm telling you, I said to you last night that they are doing things for their purposes, but it is the Lord that would use it for his purposes and for his glory. And he said he would share his glory with us. I know there's a scripture where he said he wouldn't share his glory with another, but there is also a scripture where he said he would share his glory. He would share his manifested presence with us here in the earth. And I'm telling you, we're going to win. And you can come out of this in a soup line, or you can come out of this with a soup kitchen. Whoa, that's good. You can come out of this in the soup line, or you can come out of this owning a soup kitchen. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be running the soup kitchen because the people who run in the soup kitchens always got some soup left. We may give out 1,000 bowls of soup, but you best believe when it starts to get low, we take out enough for everybody in the kitchen to eat. And everybody that grew up in a black church, a Baptist church, or a Pentecostal church, or a Methodist church, it doesn't matter. When there's food around, the folk in the kitchen always eat. And they may give out sweet potato pies, but there's one pie that will not hit that table. Come on, somebody, you know what I'm talking about. Those last dozen of rolls. No, that last dozen of rolls is reserved for the 6 people that's going to eat after the second service start. You know what I'm talking about. So let me get back to that example. So if XRP today it was like 19 cents. So, and I got on my ex-wife and I'm like, hey, come on, when you gonna get in? She gave up $30 and ended up with 158 coins. But listen what that means. So at $1,000 a coin, a $30 investment becomes $158,000. At $10,000 a coin, that $30 investment becomes $1,580,000. Now, some of you are saying, yeah, and it's an owner. Yeah, because she's a part of the Love and Unity Assembly, and I broke it down enough times until all of them understood. And if they didn't understand, trust me and go download this app on your phone and get you some of this currency and don't miss this blessing. That's how the last is going to be first and the first is going to be last, because the majority of the people who are in the kingdom of the Most High, they are not even right here. They're so busy trying to get back to church. They're so busy trying to get back to choir rehearsal. They're so busy trying to get to the convocations and get to the workers' meetings and to the conferences and to the meetings and this is the year to vote, and they're so concerned about all those things that they are not in their tents getting prepared, allowing the Passover to happen and to allow this plague to literally go slam over their dwelling so that they are looking out the tent. So when the Lord comes by and begins to bless, they're in a position to receive that. That's why I'm on here, because he told me to come. He told me it was time to speak up. I've shared things that didn't make sense 10 years ago, but now they make sense. And I've got some stuff that I could share that I'm not going to share tonight and probably won't even share in the next few weeks, because it'll blow your mind, because it's probably things that's not going to happen for another 10 to 20 years. But because you heard me say it 10 years ago and now you see it, it'll be easier for you to swallow it. The people that used to be members of the church that I was a pastor, I'm talking to them right now. Those things will make sense to you because I now have a track record with you, because you remember and now you see, and those things are being recalled to your remembrance. See, our kingdom is not of this world. We should not even be relying on stimulus checks coming from any other government other than the government of the Most High. We're on our way back there. And because we returned to the Most High, he will begin to bless us and begin to see that in the future that we not need their things, that we not need their monies. And if we don't need their monies, watch this, then you don't need the mark of the beast. If you don't need to sell anything out in that market, but you got a market with you and I that we can sell between each other, then you and I don't need to go to the kingdoms of this world and get a mark of the beast to sell nothing. And that means that you and I have to begin to change. Particularly, I know some people out there don't hate the people of color and brown people, but I'm going to say it this way. Black people, we got to get out of this. Oh, I tried to work with black people, and every time I try to work with black people, then they just mess me over. Well, you move on and find you another black person. Everybody else can support their own and have their own little towns within a city except us. And if we do get it, we acting like crabs in a bucket and we can't get nothing done. And then we get something done. Somebody wants to try to lord over somebody else. Somebody got to have my house has to be 77 feet long because you built one that was 76 feet long. See, cruise ships do the same thing. They build a cruise ship. Oh, Carnival has the largest cruise ship. Then Royal Caribbean had to build another cruise ship. I rode the longest cruise ship that was out there in 2016. And I've been daggone if they weren't already building another one while I was riding that one. I'm running around bragging about me having been on the world's largest cruise ship, and they're already building another one to put it in the water in 2016 at the end of the year. Never satisfied, never satisfied. We've got to do better than that. We've got to begin to break down the system that was given to us, the system that was perpetuated on us to continue to fight one another. Because as long as we're going to fight one another and don't give and take from each other, because I'm not a seamstress, I don't sew. But if you sew, I sure can get over there and sew. And if you can sew and make you some money from sewing, then you can come to me and I can give you some spiritual guidance on some other things, and we can take care of each other in that way. Jewish communities do it. The Indian communities do it. Come to the city of Richmond and go to the far west end. Out there, what you call short pump, it's about 3 Hindu temples out there. The Indian people are out there. They're in those nice apartments. They're in those $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 houses. They are out there because they come and they build communities. The Chinese come and do the same thing. They come in and find them a little section of town and they support each other. They support each other. And listen, I've heard about that some of them, when they come here and they're giving money to start businesses, when they get to a certain place, they've got to give $100,000 back to help somebody come and do the same thing. Freely you have received, freely you give. And I'm telling you that if we don't begin to change our minds, right where you are, you will be allowed to get it because it is coming to the just as well as the unjust. But if you don't have the right thinking, then you'll get it and you won't keep it. I'm talking about getting it forever, getting it to keep it. Things are going to come down to where you can afford them. Houses are going to come down. Cars are going to come down prices. Rent is going to come down. You may not make more money. You may make the same money. But I'm telling you, things are going to come down. I've got my eye on an RV, $331,000. It is down to $228,000. It is down with $103,000, and it's not finished yet. Why are you going to do that? Because I want to live in one. Because I may want to travel, or I may need to get out of the city real quick. I don't know, but if I don't, then at least I'm mobile because I'm intending to get back to what's my responsibility and go around the country and share and help people to understand what the kingdom of the Most High is supposed to look like. And we've got to begin to do that. Have intentional communities. Get together and buy 200 and 300 acres and build a small city with its own school, with its own medical facilities, with its own bank. It only takes about $5 million. Now maybe a little more because money is tight. And when the supply of money is tight, they require more money. When the supply of money is tight like it is now, they want more money for a down payment. So listen, but 10 years ago, you could have taken $5.5 million and gone to the Federal Reserve Board or petitioned the FCC to get a license to own a bank. Why haven't some black folk in Hollywood gotten together with all the money they have to buy these houses and these cars and to flaunt in front of us while we pay their salaries because we watch their games, because we buy their paraphernalia, because we buy these shoes? Why haven't they got together and started a bank of their own that helps us out? If all it took 10 years ago was $5.5 million to charter a bank. Wonder why they didn't do that. Or could they do that? Had they already been bought, had they already been bought and sold themselves. And so they couldn't do it, because to do that might mean that you and I might be helped. And let me go ahead and tell you this, because some of you are thinking about, well, Black Wall Street was here, Black Wall Street was here, and when Black Wall Street was here, they came and they disrupted that. Well, if they were allowed to disrupt it, there was something going on over there that gave them the reason, the means, and the ability to be able to do so. I'm telling you that we got to get in position and stay in position. We can't get blessed and become millionaires and billionaires and then turn our backs on the Most High and then act like you don't remember where you came from and then act like you can't reach out to help somebody. Because you're not being given millions and billions to squander on. You're being given millions and billions to build the kingdom. You're being given millions and billions to make sure that somebody else can eat, that somebody else has somewhere to lay their head. No, you won't be able to do it all. But guess what, sweetie? Guess what, man? You can do your part. Whatever your part is, whatever it is that grips your heart. And if you don't have any things that will be close to your heart, then I promise you there will be enough people around you doing things that you can lend some money to and get involved. I want to build apartment buildings and have assemblies or places where people can come and learn spiritually. I want to make it mandatory that they attend the financial class, and at the end of that financial class, we can help them start a business of their own. Why not? Listen, look how many people have gotten creative and jumped on selling masks, taking advantage of the situation. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I jumped in last Tuesday and joined the company because I'm going to clean up my house. When I say clean up my house, I'm getting rid of every chemical in my house because chemicals aren't good for your immune system. I was using ammonia yesterday and forgot that I had poured some down in the toilet and I inhaled some of it in. I was the next couple of hours getting my lungs right. We shouldn't have those chemicals in our house. That's some of the reason that black folk are being affected more by COVID, because most of us clean our own houses. Poor folk clean their own houses. People with money, people with substance have somebody else clean their house, so they're never even home when to even sniff those chemicals. They don't even use them. It ain't just because we live on the wrong side of the track. No, some of it is the things in our house. So we got to begin to do those things so that we can live longer and be healthy and be here to do, yes ma'am, help the homeless. I want to do it. I live right here in about 3 blocks from the river on the south side of Richmond. And I'm seeing, homeless people work this corner out here by 95 and Orange Street. And I'm just like, oh my God, some days I don't even care. I don't want to always have to care what they're going to do with the money. And sometimes I just want to be able to reach in my pocket and give them a $10 bill, not because I need to care, not because I need to go, because I don't know if I should or shouldn't, but just because I have more than enough and I want to be able to do it. And then let the universe, let the Lord, let the Most High take care of them. That's right. Listen, them chemicals are bad. Those chemicals are bad. So that's one of the things that I'm going to get involved with and try to educate some people about natural products, about natural deodorant and natural toothpaste, natural herbs and essential oils, all those things that we used to engage in before we were bamboozled and before we were crushed down because we left the Most High. That's what happened to the children of Israel. They left the Most High and he turned them over into the hands of the enemy. And that's still here. But guess what? The captivity period is over. And that's why you and I are in position. And the Most High is positioning us. Let me tell you something. They are worried. They are scared. They know they're about to lose, and they want to continue to make you think that they are on their way somewhere. But you got to know it up here. You got to know it in here, and you got to speak it out of here. It is time to stop saying that we'll never come out of this. Yes, we will. We're on our way out right now. We are on our way out right now. It has already begun, and I'm only being used right now to tell you that it is to help you get into position. There are many cryptocurrencies out there. Some of you can just Google it. Digital assets, cryptocurrencies, all those things, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, those are cryptocurrencies. And a cryptocurrency is a digital asset. Listen, they will begin to put real estate on blockchains, and then they will tokenize them, and then it will become a digital asset. It is all going digital. And let me tell you, if we get in proper position and if we do the right thing, He won't let them get far enough to cause an artificial intelligence technology to destroy us. This is the same group of people that was trying to build a tower up to the heavens. It's the same. They're the descendants of those people. The Anakim, you know, those giants. That's who they are. But they're losing, and they'll lose quicker when you and I get in position. Oh yeah. You don't know how many homeless people are in the city until you move to that city. They don't even have it in there, nothing but to wash their clothes. If clean, nice big home. Even Arthur that lives out in Short Pump, and they were black. We must get it. This is our time to come. Yes, it is. It is. And listen, and it's not for us to become mean and become angry, because that's not in us. It is in us to love. It is in us to help. That's in us. Some people in this world will never have that because they are not of this human race. I'm sorry. Some of these people that are walking around on the face of the earth are of their father, the devil. They are of their father that's of evil. Listen, you know the scripture. Don't be fooled by that anymore. Everybody that names the name of the Lord is not for the Lord. Even Satan came, he comes playing. So we think the demons are only manifesting in a church service. We think that demons are only manifesting when they take on this strange voice. No, some demons are walking around looking just like you and me, talking just like you and me, trying to be like the Most High. Revelations 2:9, blaspheming, poor but rich, blaspheming, saying they're Jews but they're really not. So I hope that I've given you enough. If you have a question or want to say something, I'll give you a moment or two to put that in there. Listen, those of you that have been with me, I don't even know how long it's been, that have been paying attention. Listen, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I hope that I've said something that will inspire you, that will encourage you. Listen, baby, we're on the last lap around the wall of Jericho. We are on, even the devil rewards his people. We're on the last lap around the wall of Jericho. And I'm telling you, it's about to come down. You pay attention. You be vigilant, and you be motivated to do what you want to do, what's in your heart to do. That gift, that talent, that ability that you have. That's why I'm talking to you now, because this is my gift. This is my contribution to the body of the people of the Most High. This is my contribution to the kingdom. This is my contribution right here, to alert you, to make you aware. This is the prophetic utterance in the wilderness, preparing the way for the Lord. Yes, indeed. I'm doing that. That's what I'm doing. So I don't know what you got. Hey, Cousin Herman, I texted you on my old phone today. Did you get my text? If not, I'm going to text you. I'm going to text you again so that I'll know that you got my message. So again, I hope that I've helped you. I hope I've helped you tonight. Thank you for those hearts. Somebody who didn't have a profile picture sending them, but I certainly thank you for them. Does anybody have a question for me? Anybody or have a comment? If you do, just post it up quickly and we'll get out of here. I want to help you. I want to be a blessing to you. Don't want you to leave confused. Some of you need to go back and watch this. Some of you that were listening to me need to go back and watch this. Listen, because the first time you may only get 5%. I promise you, if you listen to it again, while you had stopped to process some things, thank you, Nay, while you had already stopped to process some things and I was still talking, there was something else that was said that you didn't catch. I'm not saying that for views. I'm not saying that for likes. I am saying it because I want you to understand. Because when you understand, then you can apply wisdom and knowledge, and then you can make your own way prosperous. And then you won't need a handout from somebody else. This is me giving you a handout tonight. This is me giving you a hand up. I'm pulling you up. I'm bringing you into your wealthy place. We're going in together. Listen, we are being ushered in together. When I come back next week, I'm going to share some scripture with you. I've got some wonderful things by the way of scripture I want to share. But tonight I wanted to give you just some raw current events, things that's going on out there in the world, so that I can begin to open your eyes and your mind to see what's happening around you. It is time for us to show out and win. Thank you so much. You are welcome. And I thank you for paying attention. I thank you for listening. Listen, if nobody has any questions or any further comments, I'm going to allow you to go. I want you to live life live. Yep, you see that? It's a megaphone. You see that? It's a megaphone. Let me put my camera down. It's a megaphone. Live life live. Live it on your terms, the way you choose, and live it unapologetically. You don't owe anybody an explanation but yourself. Oh, thank you, Catherine Bolden. I use you in that example because I want to see you. I want to see you blessed. Your praise commands a blessing, and I want to see you blessed. And I'm telling you all, this is our time. This is our opportunity. I don't care where you've been, where you come from. I don't care how difficult it is right now. Listen, you may not have all your bills paid. I don't either because work hasn't been there. But if work hadn't slowed up, guess what? I would not have had the opportunity to lay down and to meditate and to hear what I needed to hear to tell you. So I'm thankful that things slowed down for me out there so that I could get in here and begin to hear what I needed to hear to begin to make these things plain to the people of the Most High so that we can all get there and we can all shift together. You understand what I'm saying? And if we can do our part right here in what looks like a dry season, we'll be taken to we're going to be taken to this wealthy place. You can rest assured on that. Thank you all, and you all have a good night. Live life live.